Welcome. On today's episode, we're going to talk with high school teacher, attendee of the Global Climate Conference 27, I believe, also known as COP27, Greta Kringle, a Solorio Academy high school teacher in Chicago, and a Golden Apple Award recipient in 2019. And if you hear some what I call choo-choo trains in the background, we did it in a nice little park in the city of Chicago, right near Route 66. Hope you enjoy. Hey Greta, thanks for coming on the podcast. One thing that I just thought was really cool, I don't know how you found the experience, but we both have in common, we went to the Global Climate Conference in 2022, COP27. Do you have like any takeaways or like things that
persisted, perhaps?
Yes, like changed your world? Because like for me it was that heart to your hands thing, which we'll talk about later, but we had excellent sushi and then
yeah. When we had our day of being kicked out of the conference,
right, yeah.
Which was maybe best day.
Yeah. Sorry, SGA.
But we had a really good time. When I was still counted as youth at 35, that was pretty exciting. Yeah. Let's see here. I think the number one thing that has like persisted for me from the COP experience was just like the fact that there are so many people all over the place working to solve this problem. I think that was like the most inspirational thing, is like meeting people from every corner of the world, all ages, many different industries, working towards solutions. I would say like the politics of it was depressing.
Definitely.
Which is, I guess, the point of it. But the surrounding non-political parts of it were quite inspiring, especially the youth leadership and involvement since we were there as a youth organization. I felt like, we're not totally screwed.
Yeah. I have my ups and downs, but
yes, I thought if I just paid attention to the negotiations, we're totally screwed. But like if you pay attention to the fact that there's, anywhere from, I feel like we saw like a 11-year-old speak. Right? There was like a tiny child speaking.
Yes,
up
it's
through,
people,
whatever, me being youth at 35. There were just so many young people who are like, we're not going to stand for this. So that has stuck with me, and it's also just kind of like reinvigorated trying to get more students at my school involved in environmental advocacy work.
Wait, so were you in the blue zone at all, or did Rachel kick you out?
No, I got in there one day. I think I only had like a ticket for one day.
Right, because we were swapping tickets.
But I had fun outside, and it was cool to like get in there for a day, but again, like I think the best day was that weird New York Times.
Right, yeah. We gotta connect our heart to our hands, people. That was Catherine Hope. Hey, Dr. Catherine Hale told me, Greta.
Yeah, that was the best day.
Yeah. So you're a teacher in Chicago, right? How do you like engage students in this work? What do you teach?
I teach biology. That's like most of my day, and that's like a required course for students. And then I have usually like one or two sections of AP Environmental Science. And in both classes, we talk about environmental issues. So in my bio class, we have a full unit on climate change. So we start the year with ecology and then go into climate change to look at how are humans impacting our natural systems. So every student at our school does get climate literacy.
That's nice, yeah.
And then in the environmental science class, well, I guess I should go back, because as a part of that, students, we don't do like a full, required everyone does a service learning project with that, but we do offer some options for students to engage in some service. So students do develop like a kind of like a PSA poster that they can talk about with their families about climate change and like what solutions people can engage in. Also kind of learning about the Chicago's climate action plan. And then
CPS has one too.
Yes,
I don't
CPS.
know if you've looked at that.
Yes, we have looked at it. I mean, to what degree it is being implemented is a question on my mind always.
Yeah.
And then the AP Environmental Science class, we're covering lots of environmental issues. The challenge there being like, it's hard to deep dive / do much that's cool with environmental solutions in that class, just because you have to kind of cook to get through all the content that AP wants you to get through. But still, like, I guess it's a good intro for students to many different environmental issues and kind of why we should care about them. And then probably the main way I actually have students doing environmental advocacy work is through our student group, which is the Zero Waste Ambassadors.
That's fun. What are some projects can I call them ZWAs?
You can call them ZWAs. So some of the projects that the ZWAs do. So the main, like, why the group started was because we implemented waste sorting at our school cafeteria. So through 7 generations ahead, we've been able to get like commercial composting and roll out sorting lines where students are diverting landfill waste to mostly compost and continuing recycling, doing a better job with the recycling than we probably did pre-zero waste. So students in the group help with that program. And then beyond that, we do just a bunch of other sort of student-determined sustainability work at our school. Right. A lot of times it's waste-related, like, single-use plastics or classroom recycling. But then, we've done other projects like with our outdoor space, greening our community, or doing habitat restoration in the forest preserves. So it's, the group has been around for maybe a decade. I can't really remember. And so every year the students kind of pick different things to focus on.
Fascinated. The ZWAs control, how are they just willing to spend their lunch period telling their fellow peers where to put things? Because I've talked to many students as well as like people in the education field and trying to get, I'm not sure if you're familiar with share tables.
Oh, yeah.
But like, have you struggled with that? Are the students willing to do it?
Yes, and most of the time. So have we struggled with it? Yes, always. I think like the biggest struggle is just consistency, getting students to actually show up, and then, they're really into it in the beginning of the year, and then they kind of try to game the system a little bit later on in the year. They also sometimes forget. So
right, yeah.
I think the biggest, 10 years ago when we started this, I thought we'll have volunteers there for a little bit, and then the kids will know how to do it, and they'll do it. And
theoretically, that's how
in theory, you would think, but then we found that was not actually going to happen for us. So we do have volunteers signed up every single day at lunch to stand by garbage cans during their lunch period and help students do the right thing.
Nice.
And that sort of, is a lot of work for me. And then there are students who don't show up for their shifts.
That sucks.
But for the most part, like, even if they don't show up on that off day, students do the right thing. Like,
right, yeah.
We've done audits and contamination is very low. And the contamination is usually like stickers and ketchup packets, like low mass. I think not that big of an issue for the composting, like composting facility. Yeah. Though I'm not 100% sure if that's true. So the program still works. There are lots of kinks. I get, I'll have custodians coming to me in the middle of while I'm in the class,
oh God,
and be
that's
like,
annoying.
Your volunteers didn't show up. And I'm like, there is nothing I can do about that right now.
Well, hopefully, it seems like what the kids and you are doing is working, even if they don't show up. The high school I went to, if I do say so myself, sucked when I went there with waste distribution. I actually did a few waste audits. I was in the environmental club there. Maybe they've gotten better, but you're probably still top tier, because it sounds like a lot of the students, even when they don't show up, the students that aren't there know where it goes.
Yeah. Nice. I will say, I think like high school is hard, and that's what I've heard from SGA is like, we're just... There's a lot going on. Lunch time is chaotic no matter what. Our kids have 44 minutes sometimes to get through the line, eat their lunch, and then go sort it. And there's like 400 of them.
Right, yeah.
So it's a logistical challenge. But,
yeah.
I think, like, to me, even if it gets like a little contaminated, I feel like the lesson learned from like the fact that like waste does not all need to go to landfill, and the awareness that landfills are bad, hopefully that sticks with people and they like think about garbage differently, and maybe that's more important even than it being perfectly done always.
I think there's some truth to that.
But the share tables, that's something that like every school can do, and that's actually, I'm working with CPS. They actually have a person in the role of like, they're leading composting in CPS schools. Nice. And their big push right now is like, getting composting at schools is a big undertaking, but doing share tables is not a big undertaking. And I would say we can do a lot of good work just by making sure unopened, untouched food isn't going directly into the landfill, which is crazy how much is.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if you've heard of Less is More, but I interviewed them as well. Check it out. But we talk more about like share tables and the benefit of that. That's like their whole organization. Pretty cool. Yeah.
I mean, it's really depressing. Like, we have a share table, but one of the projects that ZWAS did, not this past school year, but 2 school years ago, was getting classroom food share boxes. So, because kids get bagged breakfast.
Yeah.
And then the number of bagged breakfasts that were like full of food that would end up in your garbage can in the classroom was crazy, because they'll take out one thing that they wanted and throw the rest of it away. Yeah. So having those classroom share boxes, the one in my room, some stuff stays there forever, but mostly by the end of the day, my share box fills up and empties, because kids later in the day just want to grab a snack. So,
right, get hungry.
To think that all of that was just going in the garbage is pretty cray.
Yeah. So back in 2019, along with Friends of the Chicago River and...
it was a big year for Greta Kringle.
Yeah, you got a lot of awards. I don't know how many exactly. Well-deserved, from what your students said in the videos and stuff.
Oh, no.
And they were like saying you always remain like hopeful and are always joyful, and like with COP I can attest to that. There were some days like I was down, and
somehow you were always up. Is there like a way you remain hopeful and like a way you cope with all this stuff going on in the world, and like I guess a way you teach that makes it that way so it's not doom and gloom?
I guess I think I've always, and I'll positively frame this because I think part of it is like I sometimes shut my brain off to things that are outside of my locus of control. The world is a depressing place.
Yes.
But I think I am of the belief that like I could harp on and complain about the things that are terrible, or I could try to make what the thing I have my sphere of influence over less terrible. And I think that that can be problematic. Like I think like some people might back on that as like, you know, Pollyanna, or like I'm ignoring the problems of the world.
I shut my brain off too. We're not ignoring that, so yeah.
Yeah. I would say we're not ignoring them, but like we might as well try to make it so people feel like they have some reason to go on.
Yeah.
So I think it's like I try to, you know, teaching AP Environmental Science, I can't avoid the fact that I'm going to teach the students about some terrible things that seem like darkness is everywhere. But I also think there's a way to frame it in a way that's like, okay, what can we do at the end of every unit? What can we do? What can we expect from politicians to do? How can we... I know, I mean... But, I don't know that negativity and pessimism and, like, doom and gloom gets us very far.
I don't think it does. I don't think it gets us anywhere. I mean, I guess I'll open up a little bit. This was before COP, like 2018. I was in It's Our Future, the program that took some of us to the Global Climate Conference. And I was just social media, this telephone. I made the mistake of downloading Instagram, and I just doom scrolled, and they figured out my interest was climate change, but instead of telling me positive stories, they told it all negative. And then I literally don't think I went to IOF meetings anymore. And then the program manager reached out to me and was like, hey, how you doing? So that helped me get re-involved. But yeah, I don't know if it's possible to bounce back from that doom and gloom.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's like a dangerous place to indoctrinate people with everything is on fire, the world is ending at all times. I don't think that is motivating for any person.
Yeah,
and if anything, it makes you do terrible things because you think there's no point.
Right, yeah.
To do good things. Say in general, I've always been a person who like tries to make a bad situation better. And if that comes off to some people as, I don't know, naive, I'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take what we can get. I guess going back to our time in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt a little bit for the Global Climate Conference, like, did you have, like, expectations going into it? And, like, things that didn't go how you thought it would? For reference, I think it was, like, 17 hours and there was a 3-hour layover in Istanbul.
I think it was more than that. Like, on the way back, there was definitely... No, I think both ways we had a very long... Because I think I ruined my whole body sleeping on the floor somewhere. Right, yeah. Then I think, like, moments later, we found, like, beds. And we were like, why were we sleeping on the floor?
You guys might have been... We found bed.
I think we...
You guys might have been separate from me.
But Things that surprised me. I mean, I would say, I think the biggest thing that surprised me was getting there and it feeling like unfinished. Like, do you remember arriving and
yes.
they were like making roads?
Yes.
And you would look at the map and there was like no road there, but there was a road there.
Right. And
they were like writing the bus schedule like as we arrived.
Right, yeah. And this seems to continue to happen with other
cops
after ours.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they were before ours. But yeah, I personally wasn't expecting, I don't know if you were there for the haggling of when they wouldn't let, it was something with the hotel, and then my dad got haggled on the street for trying to, there was a list price, but he was saying, I want more.
Yeah. I mean, there was like the weird unfinishedness about it and like disorganization of it all. And then I think the thing that maybe shouldn't have shocked me but shocked me was the like fake greenness of it.
Right,
like,
yeah, that was
I
big.
remember like the sorting stations that literally had no cans. So
Right,
like
yeah.
you were sorting your waste, but it was just like dropping onto a surface below. Like there weren't cans. And like there was no way that they were actually composting or doing anything with the waste.
Yeah, no.
And then they were laying sod in the desert
Yeah,
and like planting like annuals that belong in Illinois in the desert. So there were just like so many things that I was like, what is COP? Which those are the things that make me angry about like fake environmental action.
There were fossil fuel lobbyists there, and that they still allow. I just thought that was like amazing that fossil fuel lobbyists are allowed to be there, and that was like my
I feel like they're like the main people there.
But what's your thought? Should they be in this just transition?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's one of those things that I'm like, of course they're going to be there. And do I think they should be? No. But are they going to be? Yes. Like, the main goal of COP was, like, to negotiate with the... I mean, am I crazy, or was it COP 28, where it was, like, the first time fossil fuels was, like, written into the agreement or something, or, like, coal was written.
No, I think you might be right.
And I was like, wait, what? Like, they, like, had lobbied away that even being, like, a part of the official agreement for 27 years.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, what? So, yes, do I think they should be there? I mean, I guess they have to be there, right? Because they're the ones who have to change. They have to change. But I don't know. I mean, they're going to find out they're already figuring out how to make money off of cleaner energy. Yeah. So I think just gotta make sure that they can make their money off of cleaner energy, and then everything will change.
Definitely. I think it's catching up to them.
Yeah.
And
we just need capitalism.
Right, yeah.
We need it to work
for us. We need more
us.
capitalism, for us. Did you have any big takeaways? Because, like, that was mine, that, like, they should be here, but also maybe out of certain conversations, not all conversations.
Yeah, I guess to me, I was just like, of course they're going to be here. So that wasn't even a question. I mean, I'm now thinking about, and this is adjacent to what we're talking about, but an interesting conversation I had on a bus. There was somebody there from, I believe it was Uganda, and he was a geologist, and we were talking about fossil fuels, and he was basically like, we have coal, and we're gonna dig it up, and we're gonna burn it. And how can anyone tell us not to do that? It's like, developing countries, basically, they're like, we have every right to use our resources to develop in the way that you have. Basically, how dare you try to tell us that we can't? Which, makes a lot of sense to me. It also makes a lot of sense to me to be like, okay, we should invest in green energy for those countries so they don't have to go the coal route, but provide them with the money that they would have made digging up and selling their coal.
Personally, I don't think the U.S. is kind enough to do that.
Oh, yeah. So, also, like, the lost damage money that was agreed to was, like, comically low, from developed countries.
Right,
it was, like, in the millions when, I think one story that came out was, like, Germany offered such and such $1 million, and they just had, like, a climate-related disaster that cost them over $1 billion to deal with. So, like, how are we offering millions to the whole world when we know one climate disaster costs much more than the million range?
Yeah, and it, like, doesn't know... Climate change doesn't know borders, so it's going to go everywhere.
Right.
We all should be helping each other. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Well...
The U.S. and, like, other big countries should be helping more developed countries, but for some reason, administrations change every year, and I guess it's political.
Yes, humanity is political. Whether or not humans should survive.
Are you a fan of the recognition? Do you appreciate it? I've just come to realize how much I do and how much, if I do say so, I should be appreciated now. But 5 years ago, I didn't need to be appreciated.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad.
Okay, that's interesting, because I would say I have two... I see where you're coming from, where it's like, I feel like being appreciated, every human being needs that, right? Or, like, recognized for your hard work. So, yes, I very much... Getting the Golden Apple Award, it felt like a little bit of like a... You've been working your butt off. Good job.
Nice, yeah, that's good. Nice.
And that felt good. Did I like the, like, publicness of my recognition?
Publicness.
No, I did not. But yeah, the big public
I'm not
recognition is just, like, horrifying to me.
Yeah.
But it did feel good to feel like, oh, okay, I've been working really hard and somebody says good job.
Yeah. That's good. Wait, are those our bags over there?
They're
still there, right? Okay.
Do you think we should, like, grab them?
I mean, I'm watching.
Yeah, I'm unconcerned.
Another one, I don't know.
I think I was definitely, like, a person into science who didn't to what else you could do with science. Which I think is, like, a problem in our education system. It's like, I think as you're worked in a hospital for a couple of years and one realized, like, how little interaction doctors had with patients who weren't already passed out on an operating table. And then I also on the side of that, I too passed out every time I was in the operating room, pretty much. So I had a week. I just wasn't able to handle very simple things, like even a kid going under anesthesia. Well, I would faint. So yeah, I think there was a little bit of, like, I want to work with people, I want to do science, I want to, like, do a job that makes me feel like I'm giving back in some way to the world.
Yeah.
And not extracting from it. So teaching felt like the next, like, that, I was just like, that's another job I know about.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really like, oh, this is my calling. In fact, in high school, I did a internship in eco-education where I was helping out an environmental classroom, and we planted a rain garden. And I remember finishing that internship and saying, I will never become a teacher.
Where you are now.
And I'm literally doing exactly that. So, yeah, and then I just kind of fell in love with it. Like, I'm a person who gets bored. I shouldn't say I get bored easily, because that's not true. I am a person who likes a lot of stimulation.
Yeah.
Like, I like stuff happening. I like feeling like I'm getting stuff done and doing
Being
a lot in a day. Yeah. So my job that I had right out of college, it was like fun, but I was doing the same thing over and over and over again, and bored with it a little bit. So no 2 days are alike as a teacher, so it's very fun.
You can always change career paths, people.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, now I've been in it for I just finished my 13th official year, and
Congrats.
I am still having fun.
Nice. That's
for
good.
the most part.
Right. Every job has its downsides.
Yes, for sure. Okay, am I back to trying to choose a question?
Oh, shoot, yes. Because I lost... Why is it recording me now?
Yeah, it really wants to record us. Hi, bird.
Oh, I've seen so many
There's
cute
also,
birds.
like, cool fossils in this rock.
Yeah,
which is kind of sweet. I mean, that's kind of a fun one.
Let's do it then.
Okay, it says we both came from very different backgrounds and generations.
Oh, yeah, right.
How do you think each of us experienced the conference differently? Which is just fun. I also like that you're making me think way back to 2022, which I
know.
I haven't thought a ton about it.
I apologize.
I like it. Like, I think you all got a little bit more depressed from it.
That Dr. Hayho interview.
I don't know why, but I think it's because, like, I got to be around you all and feel this, like, energy and excitement and determination to... And even, like, your anger, like, even the frustration that you all had. Like, I was like, this is really cool to be around teenagers who really care about something and are mad about it and are, all of you wrote your, I guess, was it a blog post? Is that what we wrote?
I was looking at...
Through those things. I'm like, to me, I left feeling very... positive. Okay. But if I were you all, I think I probably would have felt more angry and depressed about it.
If I recall, I wasn't really feeling... I mean, at the end of the day, I felt tired and, yes, depressed, but, like, during the moment, I didn't. And one thing I will push back on a little bit, maybe, if you're okay with that.
Yes. I can't speak for you.
I think everyone knows it's an issue, even older generations, your generation, all the generations know it's an issue, but to what we were talking about earlier, there's just so much action steps, I feel like, almost.
Yeah.
So... Right. Yeah.
Which is like the hand to the heart.
Connect your heart to your hand.
Yeah. Well, and I think I believe that, like, about every issue. Like, you go out and you feel better once you've done that. So I think we do, as a society, need a lot more opportunities to get people to join together and do something about the issues that they're upset about. Like, less scrolling about it and the algorithm take you down a dark path, and more like get out and connect with people who care and do something.
Yeah. I do like, we live in, I'll call it a great state. It's Illinois.
Yeah.
Although you might disagree.
I like Illinois.
Since you're from Minnesota.
Well, Minnesota's better,
Traitor. Poppy's texting. What was I gonna say?
You let your phone steal your brain, Manolo!
Right, yeah. I do think, like, I'm not sure if you've heard of, we live in Illinois, and it's actually federally, I forget which is which, but there's make polluters pay, and then I'm forgetting the other one, but they're both trying to hold oil and gas industries accountable, and, like, they've suggested, like, letter writing, and I feel like that works, and, like, calling your senator and representative, speaking respectfully, expressing your anger, though. I do that on a daily basis.
Oh, I love that.
Recommend others do it.
Yeah. But again, how do we create those community spaces that have the same benefits of a church community or a synagogue community, but for people who maybe aren't religiously motivated, you know? And I think doing stuff like that, like getting together and writing letters about an issue you care about, one, it's a great way to hang out with your friends and then feel really good about yourself afterward, you know? And I think there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, like, doing something and feeling wow.
Yeah. I mean, as you should, you just did...
Do nothing.
Yeah, you didn't do nothing. Is it... Oh, God.
Oh, is it recording us?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Why is it doing that? So now we'll have two recordings.
Yeah, we'll have a transcript. That scares me, though. Like, I feel like I'm always...
I've told so many people, but the way actually it once they were old enough to a stream in...
An organization, they'll send you little trout. I mean, because I also want, like, a class pet, but I'm like, over the summer, what do I do with my pet?
He get well, if you're listening, correct me if I'm wrong, knock on my door. But he like has turtles, snakes.
Yeah. See, I just don't want animals. I don't want to be responsible for them.
He makes people sign like a waiver and then bring them home they can have them over the summer. Forgetting the states. Colorado is one state that recently passed a climate diploma if you complete a certain amount of hours of climate education. And, like, I just think rewarding that and preparing the future, that's kind of what my thinking is. And, like, to try to... We were joking, you want me to become a politician, huh? I don't think I could do it. I've told the line between, I think it's critical you do stuff on a local level. But yeah, that's kind of my answer. I think that local action is, like, just more important and impactful, and just writing to your local paper makes an impact, and, like, I just find ways to connect. I don't get no responses to my Wednesday Journal articles, my local paper. I don't get responses. I just do it because...
Wait, so you submit an article to your local paper every week?
When I feel like it. No,
when you feel like it. Yeah, okay, cool. And do they publish it or no? Not yet?
Well, we're a small paper, so yes, usually they do.
Cool.
Well, thanks for coming on. Any, like, last words or things you want to do in the future with yourself, or, like, ways people can get involved with? I don't know if there's any ways you have.
I think we've sort of already talked about it, but I'd just say, like, anybody who's listening, go out and do something and connect with other people, and I would say follow in your footsteps. Like, you're doing a lot of stuff to try to connect people to issues that you care about, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
And that's all we can do, right?
Right, yeah. Write about and do what you care about. Don't force yourself into something you don't care about.
Yeah,
It's fine.
true.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, stay in your lane. Well, thanks, Greta.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for listening. I hope this episode you found as insightful as I did, and I myself had a lot of flashbacks when recording and researching. Next month, we will be joined by Poppy Booth, a Global Climate Conference attendee as well with us. We share that similarity. But she actually worked for It's Our Future and 7 Generations Ahead, the group that was so kind enough to send us 3. So we'll hear from the inside perspective.